Good morning, traders, and welcome to Phoenix Blues Morning Update. Hope you're all very well this morning. My name is Nishal Patel. I'm going to be taking you through today's morning update. Today is Thursday, the 30th of March, 2017. Going to give you a brief synopsis of what's happening on the marketplace and which announcements you should be aware of. As always, if there's any questions that you might have, feel free to pop us an email at info@phoenixblue.co.uk. Alternatively, visit our website or any of our social media links if you'd like to gather a more of an in-depth knowledge on to how to trade the financial markets and, most importantly, what you should be aware of. Okay, moving on, guys. Just before we look at the charts, just have a quick look at what key announcements we have today. We do have a huge stronger of an announcement from the US on GDP. Q1Q figures are released at 12:30 today, so please be aware of them, please look out for them, and obviously manage your trades in the safest possible way prior to the announcement coming out. There has been strong data coming out from the States side for much of this year, and we've had really good figures coming out supporting growth, and most importantly, a stronger and resurgent economic climate in the state side. So GDP figures, I think all eyes are going to be tuned into that data. Obviously, it's a huge. It has a huge effect onto the marketplace, most importantly for most of the traders out there. Now, moving straight on to our charts, and I think the first port of call for us is here on the dollar index. Right now, the dollar index just hovering just below that 100 mark. So right now floating at 99.9. Has previously come up and tested that 100 level, but most importantly, a resurgence on the dollar index coming off this low. Obviously had taken up its previous low that we've seen on this daily chart, and we was slightly reluctant to do that, but we saw a slight gap in the market, push down, coming down as low as we can see on this chart with the levels highlighted to around the 99.50 mark prior to it swinging back up and testing the 100 zone. We have seen some strength in the dollar, but it has been somewhat of a mixed bag across the markets. And if we go across our currencies, we will be able to see that quite clearly and evidently. We can see the gap that we saw at the start of the week pretty much across the board in many of our currencies, and we obviously saw that gap on the dollar index as well. And we see what we can see is we've obviously seen the euro literally a lot more bearish than bullish after the high produced on Monday, taking out 1.09, the high of 1.091, and all the way to 0.737 circa right now, floating in the 30s right now, 0.730s, coming down, testing that 20 moving average, potentially looking to come down and test this long-term trend line that we've got here as well. Has taken out its previous low, so effectively invalidated this upward momentum, and you should be able to see that on a time frame larger than that. Moving on to our next chart, we were looking at the yen right now. The yen's had a huge move in the last few weeks, most certainly bearish, but has come down and tested that low 110s, 110, 110, 110.10, I should say, whilst we're just sitting below 111 or just on 111 right now, as to speak, forming on this forming up on this effectively an inverted hammer right now on this daily time frame. Obviously probably won't look to stay that way during the day, but will be quite interesting to see what happens on this. After seeing this deep pullback, we probably expect it to be a little more bullish than bearish, but time will tell, and most certainly our protege members are fully aware of what they should be looking to take advantage of. Now, moving on to the Australian dollar. Australian dollar had taken this dip that we were looking to target towards the end of last week, and came down to that 618 perfectly, and is right now sitting at that 382 fib level off its last previously weekly swing. Right now floating at 76.53. Moving on to the big one for us, obviously looking at cable. Cable just right now coming up to this, again, long-term fib level. Not going to go into it too much, but has come down, broken it, tested that fib, tested a fib retracement. We're having a look at this chart on the hourly time frame, just so you can see price action and the way it's formulating. It's formulating in a very interesting manner, that's for certain. And obviously with Brexit being officially on the table, and with Clause 50 triggered, and negotiations officially looking at starting, I think all eyes are going to be once again tuned into anticipation of what cable does, and most importantly what its neighbors are doing. So sterling picking a little ground on its neighbors, including the euro, as of yesterday. Did have a slight wobble on the euro because of it, but again, sterling is still bearish, especially after this bullish momentum that we saw hit and break the 1.25 region. As I said, right now just floating at 1.2415, not doing too badly in comparison to where it was the week before last. So still looking quite resurgent. Moving on forward, having a look at the price of oil. Oil is back up into the 50 range. Had a strong push yesterday with data coming out stateside, with inventories slightly lower than expected. Slight push, and there has been some issues with production in some key territories, all producing nations I should say, and that has jolted the price of oil from its mid 48 all the way up to 50, breaking 50 earlier on, or just clipping it and testing it, and right now we are resting at 49.82 on WTI as we speak. And then the final chart we're going to have a quick look at is the price of gold. Gold off this lovely double bottom that we saw formulate on this daily time frame, pushing up, taking out the highs of this 1211 and breaking off a 150, coming up to a high of 152, just a little higher than 152, for resting just right now as we speak today at 153.7 circa. Rotating and oscillating in and around this range here, forming into what looks to be a symmetrical triangle, and I'm sure many of you guys would see it. So potentially looking for a breakout on that side as well. Now guys, as I said, word of caution, there is some strong data today. As always, if you require any help or assistance in understanding what Phoenix Blue does, or most importantly, how we can improve your trading or even get you on the road to trading successfully, feel free to send us an email at info@phoenixblue.co.uk. Alternatively, visit our website. My name is Nishal Patel. Until next time, guys, happy trading. Goodbye.